Move over ChatGPT GPTs. There's a new sheriff in town. Hugging Face has just released their assistants, and this could be a game changer. You can now build, share, and use other people's bots. And Hugging Face has one big advantage over ChatGPT. It's open source. Everything is absolutely free. In this video, I'll duplicate some of my ChatGPT bots to Hugging Face and test them in parallel. We'll compare the creation process and their responses to identical prompts. Let's find out if Hugging Face can finally take down the king. Hit the theme. After you create a free account at huggingface.co, you can enter their chat area. If you click on Assistants, which has new next to it to let you know that it's something new, you can start to see their list of assistants, which is currently in beta, and you can choose which model you want to play around with. Let's just look at some of the bots that they have. Italian Grandma, Prisoner Interrogation Game, Talking to Marcus Aurelius. We're seeing the same thing that we see with the ChatGPT default bot, which is they're not really useful. We do have an image generator. We have something that will insult you. This will help you choose which model to use when you're trying to choose an AI, Python code generator. There are some things in here that are interesting, but I think for right now, because it's so new, this has only been out for about a day or two, that we're not going to see anything amazing. What we really want to do is see what the creation process is like. So let's click on Create New Assistant. Here you can see, first of all, you choose which model. Right now I have the Llama model active, which is the broadest. This is built by Facebook. It's mostly open source, but you're not supposed to use it to build other models. That's the one limitation. You can choose Create New Assistant or Build New Assistant. Now, there are some limitations and there are some advantages. With ChatGPT, you don't have any control over which model it's running, so you can't control the brain of the AI. It's always built on whichever the current ChatGPT is, which right now is version 4. You can't make a model on ChatGPT 3.5. It's not an option. You have 6 choices. These are the most popular. Mixtral and Mistral are probably the most popular open source AI. It's really tricky that there's one letter difference in the names. And we're going to stick with the Llama one to keep it simple. And you can see that there's not really a process for actually designing your bot in cooperation with Hugging Face. You have to build it on your own. And let me change the colors. One of the limitations is you cannot create the avatar image. You have to make it somewhere else and upload it. So it can't actually create an image, which is fine for me because the ones I think ChatGPT makes are not great. So they don't matter. The bot we're going to recreate is Tiffany Kingfisher. She is my Twitter expert. She has a very distinctive style, a very interesting style of doing things. I'm going to go to ChatGPT and go to Open Explore GPTs. And I'm going to go to my GPTs and I'm just going to pull in her exact backend code. She's one of the first characters I created here. In fact, she's the second one. And we're just going to grab her. Now, share conversation with modal authors. I want to keep it private. All assistants are public, so anything I create here, the whole world's going to have access to. So I'm only going to do one. You don't have the option of testing it internally. Let me see if I can actually fit my entire prompt in here. Okay, it worked. Now there's a possibility that once I create this, I can't stop it. So I want to make sure that I create something that at least links back to me so people find my website for creating bots. Let's give her a picture. That should be it. Yep, there we go. The last thing I want to do is grab a user start message and activate her. And then we're going to close out and you can see now I'm talking to her. We're going to test our first prompt. As you can see, we're already hit a wall. It doesn't build in the same way, unfortunately. Where's our ChatGPT bot, which is built in ChatGPT. This is in beta. Let's see if I can change something. Edit her. I wonder if I can change her model to Mixtral. Save. And we're going to have her active. I'm going to try her again. This is not very smooth. I can't find her again. I don't want to use this conversation because that failed. There we go. Make it go away. Let's try again. Let's go create a new assistant. I can see her here. And I can copy. Let's start a new conversation this way. You can see the process is pretty rough. I've switched models. Let's start chatting. We're going to hit this and see if it will run. Okay. So I know you guys were thinking it totally failed, but it turns out the issue was running on the Llama model. Mixtral is a better model. She's using the bird icon a lot, which she's supposed to. She's supposed to use that a lot to make sure that we know she's still active. And you can see here, she talks a little fancier. This model has less data in it, so it's not going to be as fancy talking because it's pulling from a smaller data set. The other limitation is that there's no way for Hugging Face to access the internet. GPT can access the internet, and you can create bots that access the internet by talking to each other, as I demonstrated in my video yesterday. This is something different. In order to pull in data, we actually have to provide the information because you can't just give a link. You have to do a little bit more work. I actually have a news article on this topic. We're going to pull this news article. I'm going to copy it in. So this is a news article from VentureBeat. Copy and paste that article. This is a pretty rough way of doing things. We're going to submit it. And while it's running, I'm going to go back to ChatGPT. What I want you to notice is how fast it is. This is like a really good tweet. These are really pretty good. It's doing things that are very impressive to me, probably because it's talking about itself. It's doing good ads. It has some okay emojis. This is interesting. They use hashtag Hugging Face instead of at Hugging Face because they don't know what Hugging Face's Twitter is. So let's see. Exciting news for Hugging Face. They've just launched Hugging Chat Assistants, a game changer for creating their own AI chatbots, free and customizable, ready to take on ChatGPT GPTs, dive in and create with yours in 2 clicks. AI Revolution. I think that's a hammer and wrench, and then the talking icon. Head to head, it's pretty good. It's adding some junk at the bottom. I want to just look at the first part, which is the tweet. This. The second part is that it knows I'm talking about its new feature, so it's telling me where I can watch a video about it, which is fine. Although that's not true. This says YouTube ABCDEFG, and this says YouTube ABCDEFG. That's not a real link for sure. But overall, that's a pretty good tweet. And so here's some pretty good answers. I would say in this case, they're pretty head to head. I would say they're pretty comparable considering each have a downside. The downside of Hugging Face is that you can't post in a link. The downside of the GPT is that the tweets are not as good. To get a trade-off, like it doesn't know who Hugging Face is, but has access to the internet. So you have a little bit of a trade-off. The cool thing is that these are absolutely free. So if you're looking for bots, if you're looking for character development, there are some cool things that you can do here. When I create some assistants, the fact that you have no control and assistants are automatically free, that's why you're not going to see a lot of quality for a little while. Other than plugins that you then have to pay externally to activate their stronger features. That's not my business model. That's a lot of work and it's a subscription model and requires a really high level of coding and a lot of skill. But we now have the ability to create some pretty cool characters. Hopefully they make it a little easier to organize. The other thing I like is that I can see all of my GPTs up here. I can just click 19 more and see the ones that I'm using the most often. You can remove ones that you don't use all the time, so you can kind of clear off that area if you want. I have to click on assistants and then create new assistant to actually switch which one I want to use is a little weird. I wish I could sort them. Overall, this gives you a sense of kind of what the future's doing and some things that could be really interesting. I think it's definitely worth playing around with these. You may find some that are useful. Unfortunately, they're doing the exact same thing that ChatGPT does, which is there's no organization. You can't upvote or downvote these. You can't save favorites. You can't find out more information. All you get is one sentence and you can activate it. All of the AI companies have made a decision to provide a really poor customer experience, which is really unfortunate. There's an opportunity here for Hugging Face to give you the ability to have longer descriptions of each bot, let you sell your bots for flat fees, let you do the monetization through Hugging Face. They could have all that stuff in there to really increase the value. I get it. Their platform's free, so they don't want me making paid bots. They should still let you up and downvote bots. They should be able to organize by categories or organize by if they're useful or not useful or if people are using them. I'm very interested in this. I think this is really cool. I want things to keep happening in the open source space. None of the other major platforms have released any version of GPTs or bots or this so far. And this is just the beginning. It's only been up for a day. It's in beta. It's new. And it's very exciting. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you see this as a really cool feature? Are you excited to see when the assistants can talk to each other? We can have multiple assistants in the same conversation like I showed with GPTs yesterday. They can talk to each other so you can compare features and multiply what they can do times each other. Very exciting. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked that video, I think you're going to like this one or maybe even this one. Check them out.